You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
Welcome to our home as we continue our podcast. And we really appreciate those that have stuck with us. I was telling Terry this morning that we didn't do anything this summer, and maybe that kind of threw some people off, or maybe it's just summer. I've seen things. It could be summer, but whatever. But it's not like I think part of it too is I try to come up with some things to discuss, but at the same time, a lot of people like the politics. A lot of people like science fiction or things like that. We just have our unique, we talk about certain things, certain subjects, and that's it. So politics to me, you can hear that anywhere. You don't need to know my politics because
they don't want to hear us get into an argument because we don't agree on something.
Yeah, but most times we do.
Most of the time we do.
Yeah, we have the same thoughts.
We don't always agree with our kids on politics.
No, not always.
Which is really weird because they all were raised in the same house and they have different politics.
Well, I think, you get to college kind of...
Too many bad influences.
Kind of get you going in a different direction. I don't think it's bad to have different views.
Yeah, I think that it should be, to give your view to someone, but they should investigate it, not just
not take it as gospel, but actually do some research or whatever.
And not only research that one, because, that person's talking about their books, they, wherever they learned that from. So those things are going to influence that. But then look into other ones too. Well, this one says this,
I like to hear different sides, different views, stuff like that. I see you have, we were going through the attic. That was one of the things I was going to talk about today is this weekend we didn't paint because I was afraid to take $60 paint, which paint's expensive, and then put it on, it rains. So what did we do? We cleaned the attic. And we went through the kids' stuff. A lot of things like report cards.
And you threw things away.
Well, they didn't want them. We didn't throw a lot. We threw some odd stuff away. We didn't throw away. Just things that it's either they want them or they don't.
It surprised me that Zach wants some of the drawings that RJ did.
Right. There were some nice drawings, and then yet he doesn't want some of his own stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Did you tell him about the mask? I think that he might want that mask.
What mask?
That one with the broken hair.
Oh, now you tell me. Okay.
Why'd you already throw it away?
Well, it's downstairs, but it's getting ready for the garbage.
Yeah, you might want to ask him because I think he liked that guy too.
But we did talk to the kids. Said you want this stuff because, it's. We don't. It's not that we don't. We kept some things as far as Mother's Day things, some other that kind of stuff. But as far as like papers and report cards, I want to give to them. They can decide what they want to do with them.
They're going to pitch them.
I know they are, but at least I didn't say I did it.
I don't know if Zach will, but
I don't want mine.
Nathan doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't want mine. I
was a good student, and I don't have mine. My mom might have them in her stuff. I don't know.
She might, but that's just it. But just going through the attic and going through the kids' stuff, and I guess it in a way it kind of brought back a lot of memories of having 3 boys in the house, and we were busy, and we were always running around, and maybe didn't take the time because time goes so fast with the kids that you sometimes you get caught up in how busy you are and
getting every place on time.
Yeah, you don't take that. And I think that's what I'm trying to do now with Fen, because I babysat Fen by myself, mind you, on Friday. And this will be last Friday. It'll be a different Friday, but it's a Friday that I watched him, and I got to feed him breakfast and lunch. You came home, fed him dinner, and then left again, mind you, while I was with him. And he did poop. We talked about that too. He pooped. Got to change another poopy diaper. Man, it was bad. But when he poops, he He really does a number.
He's to that age where they put the stinking in it.
Oh, my gosh. There was no doubt, because you know what, all kids do it. He does it a little bit differently, but usually because they freeze. They just stop. He gets this look on his face. It's like, and he's pushing. I'm like, oh, man. You couldn't wait 2 more hours? But anyway. But what I was thinking about, too, is, I was exhausted. I feel young. Like I do. I feel young. But when you do that all day, then I don't maybe feel as young as I'd like to be.
Now you remember that we were tired when we did it for ours, and now you know why they're tired.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's a good sleeper.
Oh, he is.
He's a great sleeper.
With RJ, I never got 8 hours of sleep. I didn't get 8 hours of sleep from the time RJ was born until Nathan was probably 3 or 4. Not because of Nathan, but because of RJ. Because as soon as I quit nursing Nathan, maybe even before that, I put him on cereal and he would sleep pretty good. He was a pretty good sleeper, but RJ was never a good sleeper. Although by the time he was between 3 and 4, he quit waking me up at night. He'd just go to the bathroom and lay back down.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't wake me up.
You can't ask for him. He's so easy to watch. we have some toys here that keeps him busy, but we don't have a lot. And he gets a little bored, but he'll grow out of that. Very quickly. We've seen how fast he's walking around this house like there's no tomorrow. But
I think I'm more aware of how fast it goes this
Oh my gosh, me too.
I realized that it went really fast with my kids, and I kind of did by the time the third one came along, and I wanted to be with him as much as possible. But now I'm really kicking myself. I should have retired as soon as he was born that next fall. I should have not went back to work.
No. In our defense though, we've struggled, but we are not struggling now.
Right. And that's what makes
this difficult because one of the reasons we're doing this podcast is because it's easy for me. I bought this thing and it's easy setup. I set it up in 10 minutes and we can rock and roll. We didn't know if we were going to do we don't have a set day right now because we're trying to we don't know what we're babysitting.
Get into a new routine.
Yeah, it's hard. And now wintertime's coming. I think it'll be a lot easier because you don't have grass. You don't have the outside of the pool. Well, I don't know what I'm doing with the pool, but that kind of stuff. So it kind of makes
all
it
that
tough.
Outside stuff will be gone, so we can come home and do it any night.
Right.
We could do it 2 or 3 nights in a row if we need to.
But this is probably the most money we've ever made as far as because we're both working.
And we're putting something away out of every check.
Yeah, putting money away. We're doing, and then he's like, well, do you want to give that up? Well, you gotta balance it because again, life goes so fast. And you want to take these moments.
He's only going to be little for
he's
a few years, and then
he's growing really fast. That's for sure.
Then he'll be big and doing his own soccer and stuff like that, and hopefully we'll be going to games. We may not be able to go to all of them if they're this far away, but hopefully some of them we will.
Yeah. So some of the things we're going to talk about, we've already started, but I'm going to talk about snooping. I think is it right or wrong? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, some things that were acceptable in 2002, it's 20 years ago, may not be acceptable today.
I believe that.
And grapes, do you like grapes?
Yeah.
Well, you're really going to like grapes when you find out what they can do for you. I should be eating more grapes.
Yeah, but there are only 5 on the diet. 5 is a serving size because they're so full of sugar.
You're going to have to wait like everybody else. Find out what that means. And then what would you outsource? This is an interesting question because of this. And I'll bring it. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. These parents decided they wanted to outsource in a way to teach their children. I'll tell you what it is coming up in just a bit. But first, we're going to talk about snooping. Do you approve of snooping through not just your children's phones, texts, but maybe your significant other?
No. The only way I would snoop with my children is if I thought they were on drugs or something, I would probably go through their drawers and underneath their bed and see if I found any paraphernalia. I think when it comes to something like that, I definitely would, because I'm concerned and I would want to protect them, and I would call them out on it. And if I really thought they had a problem, I would, try to get them to check in someplace and get help. You know what I mean? If I really thought my spouse was cheating on me, I may check his phone. But as far as that goes, like snooping, I've been in neighbors' houses. I've never opened a drawer. I've never done anything unless I was looking for the dog food or, I've never, ever snooped, and I have not checked your phone for messages or anything, and I've never checked my kids.
Well, I can't say that I haven't.
Well,
back when they were young, not all of them. RJ moved out, and I didn't have a chance to get on his phone. He just said, "I'm out 18." Boom, he was gone.
Yeah, but
I have checked kids' phones. I've been a little snooping.
I think when we don't know what's going on, when they're too quiet, and that, I think it's okay, like to check their Facebook page to see who they're talking to. Yeah, if you're concerned about them and who they're running with and what kind of people those people are and what they talk about, then, especially if I thought they were into drugs or something bad, I think that I would.
Well, you're 37%.
But I really haven't done that much. We've checked a couple messages when our kids, we thought they were in trouble or something.
37% approve of snooping. Scrolled through voicemails, text messages. More than a third who took part in this survey said suspicious behavior warrants electronic snooping. And you just said not just electronic, but you
social
want to look
media,
around.
Anything. I mean, I would say, I would look through drawers for letters from a girlfriend. Hey, if he's all of a sudden got real quiet, did a girlfriend break up with him? Then they are not confiding in me. Are they so depressed they need help? Or,
boys are tough. We've had 3 boys, so we didn't have girls. So boys are harder, I think, to get things out of.
Yeah, I think girls share more.
I think so too.
I think like when I was growing up and I was in middle school and high school, if I broke up with a boyfriend or something, I came home and woohoo, and I just, but nowadays the kids hold it in. I mean, we have crisis counseling at the school every week, so-and-so doesn't like me, your best friend's clique isn't, you're not in that clique anymore, and they're making fun of me now. And I mean, it's just horrible that these kids take things so much to heart that they, are in crisis over it. I don't know why the kids don't have enough self-esteem that if they have a fight with their best friend, they can't move on,
Yeah. More women than men said it was okay to spy. 37% said spying on a significant other is acceptable if bad behavior is suspected. 29% of males agreed with that statement. So, snooping, it's almost 40%.
I mean, if you're coming home half an hour to an hour late, probably an hour or more late, 2 to 4 times a week, yeah, I would say, where is he stopping?
Right.
I would then probably get suspicious. I mean, you've never done things like that to me, so I've never had the reason to look at things, and
Right.
I don't think either of us have ever done that. If I'm going to be late, like the other day, I didn't come home, from
Right.
church, I called and I said, I'm stopping by my mom. She wasn't feeling good. I let you know where I'm going. So if
there's no communication, then there's things to worry about.
Right.
I think. I mean, that's, if you're not, as a partner, if you're not communicating with one another, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Why are you 2 hours late? Why are you, now there's things that come up at work. I understand that too. That does happen. But if it seems to be more than
like
not,
I said,
then
if it was a couple times a week, then I would
there'd be something to
I
say,
would
okay,
start
what's going
saying,
on,
okay, what's going on? Is there, you talking to someone at work, and is it a girl? And
Yeah. So I'm not proud of the fact that I did snoop, but I have snooped on my kids.
But you were
phones.
concerned for your kids when you did it.
Yeah, kind of. But maybe it was just, maybe it was just nosy. Why didn't I just say, okay, what's going on? Now I know I could have said that, and I know I have said that. And maybe I didn't get that,
or the response that you wanted. I mean, if you're not getting the response, then they have to realize you're going to resort to it. If you don't talk to me.
And, as a parent, I don't care how old they are. You still think about them and you still worry about them. And I know you're not supposed to worry, but I do. You think about it, you pray for them, you worry about them.
I try to lay it down, pray about it and lay it down. But it's in the back of your head. Always. You wonder how he's doing, especially if they've been sick or.
Boys are different as far as.
You wonder if he made that appointment.
Their vacation, they don't. Right, you just, but you also have to listen. None of us are perfect, and you have to kind of hope that the values that you've set forward and the example. I think that's a big word. I'd use a big word. Not that example is a big word, but I couldn't think of it. But if you are an example to your kids, being the best person you can be, we're not perfect, mind you. I am not perfect. We are not perfect parents. We did the best we could with what we had, and we had a great support system. And I think that's huge. See, I really believe that is.
Oh, I know.
Is a big thing.
They had four grandparents and grandparents in town while they were growing up. They learned very young that family was the most important because we took them to see them all. And now RJ and Lauren do bring Finn.
They do.
They do. And, there were months that I didn't hear from RJ when he was away at college and stuff. No, I mean, usually at least once a month he'd give me a phone call. Or, when he first moved out, how do you make this, Mom? How do you make that? He would want to know. And then he started working for a restaurant, and then he learned.
He was walking through Pittsburgh, and that was just in the middle of the night, and just
coming home at 11 o'clock.
I try not to think about that now.
And you would say something about his phone. Well, he doesn't pay his phone bill. I said, well, I'm willing to pay that because I don't know where he's walking at night, and I want him to have his phone. It's bad enough that he's walking that far at night.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm. The car thing was, we were trying to balance that out too, and Nathan was trying to drive. Nathan was trying to drive, and then I was like, well, are you going to pay for this? It was
trying to make them responsible and pay their right amount for things, but yet.
But it is what it is. But they are,
and I think they all did learn to pay their bills.
Yeah, they pay their bills. It's not that. I'm just saying back then, you're young. They're trying to get by too. He was on his own. He was working. He had roommates, and then the roommates, would skimp out on payments here and there. We've had to, come up with that. And those are stories I'm sure people would tell about their kids, not just in maybe he didn't
bad roommates at college.
In college,
it's not only that they don't pay for something. Sometimes they're just bad. They aren't considerate of each other, and that, you're actually in school for school and your roommate's not. Your roommate's there to party and have fun, and they don't care that they interfere in your schooling and you're there for an education. A lot of that goes on. And,
so the next subject before I go, I want to tell you that I was trying to get our doctor on, and I went and I talked to her about it. And
she said she wanted to do it, but we've never kind of
did. Well, she kind of said no.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I just at right now.
Well, then she
wasn't
moved
like you had to come here
and everything.
But yeah, she moved offices, and there's a lot going on, and there's new doctors of this. And she says just been a lot to take on, and she hasn't been able to just find the time. But I wasn't asking her to come here. We do it over the phone. We could do a shorter version, although with what she does and the type
and
of
what
medicine,
we want to talk to,
it might take longer than that. It might take more than one time too, because there's a lot of questions that a lot of people wanted to ask. But I wanted to let people know I had tried, and maybe if our podcast was, I don't know, in the top 1,000, maybe it would make a difference, but it doesn't. And maybe we can get her on in due time. Maybe she'll change her mind, but that was something we tried.
Now would be a good time because I really think medicine has changed since COVID.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I think the quality of healthcare has gone down.
It's gotten worse.
Oh, yeah, it's gone down because of COVID and all. They'll make you wait for testing longer now. There's like, it's just the quality, COVID, everything's COVID, and they just pass you on and instead of really checking for things. So
yeah, it's just it's just gotten ridiculous how bad it is. The sun is shining in her face. I'll have to do something with that. First time fathers, their brains shrink by 2% after the birth of their baby. I'll have to ask RJ about this. But they say it can actually help them connect with their child, according to a new study. So in case you're wondering if you have your brain kind of goes down a little bit, you lose 2% after your first baby. I'm going to move that. Can you talk while I do this?
Yeah, I believe that just out of the lack of sleep. Like they were feeding Finn every 2 hours, night and day. So they had to wake up and feed him,
Yeah, well, that got
because
dark.
he was so small when he was born. They were trying to get him the weight and growth, on it.
It said that previous studies showed that motherhood can change the structure of a woman's brains. Researchers set out to see if this is also the case for first-time fathers. They performed MRI scans on 40 first-time dads in Spain and the U.S., and on average, men lost 1 to 2% of volume of their brains. Cortical, is how you say that? When their child was born. So we're losing some of our brain thought, guys. It happens after your first. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot going on with your first child too. There's a lot of things go through your head first time as a dad, and a mom too. But I'm saying as a dad, there's just a lot of responsibility. Absolutely. So I thought that was interesting. In case dads are wondering why you can't remember how to tie your shoes for a second or two, that's probably why. You just lost some of your brain power. If you looked in the mirror, which side is your better side? Do you have a better side? Photographic side, left or right?
Never thought about it.
Never thought about it. You ever said, maybe sure I'm on this side or I'm on that side?
I know a lot of people do, but I got a goofy grin when I smile too big, my eyes crinkle.
Well, according to research, it's your left side. That's the
the
side of the human face is generally more appealing to others than the right side. Let me see my left side. Look at my left side. See, my left side, though, it just all knows. See, then it doesn't matter, does it? It's both sides. You're not saying things, so that must be. Let me see your left side. I know you're right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It looks the same to me.
See, they look the same to me, too.
So let's see, this side.
Yeah, they look the same.
You didn't even look at both.
Yes, I did the first time you did it.
So it doesn't matter?
No, they look pretty much the same.
So do you have a better side of photograph? Do you like to, do you like, I'm be on this side or that side? I don't know that anybody does that, but I'm trying to think of anybody that's ever, photographed somebody like, wait a minute, I got to be on this side. Of course, if you had a giant zit and you wanted to kind of hide, you'd move from one side to the other. That would kind of keep you from.
It's right in the middle of your nose.
I know. Then you have
no hiding.
Then you put a mask on.
There's a bump right in the middle of your nose, no matter what you do.
That's where the mask comes in.
Yeah.
See, you wear a mask, and you could just say, just because I was, wasn't feeling good that day. Had nothing to do with the giant zit that was on the end of my nose. Now we talked about this because you were doing some walking. Terry does gets her 10,000 steps, and you were talking about Rigby, and the real reason why you love walking the dog. Do you have? I mean, I know exercise is a big thing, but you also
exercise
said
is more fun with him.
But you said it. It's not just that though.
It makes him happy. He grins. I swear he's got a big smile on his face. I swear that it makes him in a better mood, and And then he usually leaves me alone after that for a while. Lays on the ground and takes a nap. And you know what I mean? He's so happy and contented, he'll sleep for a little while.
Well, it says here that they did this study. They do a study on everything. And they say that no matter how many times you hear that pounding the pavement with your pup is good exercise, that's not what gets you and your four-legged friend motivated to walk. According to the research, most dog owners are motivated to walk their pets because it makes them happy. You just said it. It wasn't because you wanted, you don't mind
when
walking.
He's here and he sits by my bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't really feel like getting out of bed, but he's there and he's wagging his tail and looking at his eyes are all bright like, oh, I'm at grandma, she'll take me for a walk.
And it wasn't for health or social reasons. It had everything to do with the dog being
if it
happy.
makes him happy, I'll get out of bed and walk him because it's just...
I don't want to pick up the poop.
Such a little thing to make him happy.
I just don't want to pick up the poop.
Not only that, it's giving me exercise too.
You know he's going to poop. I don't want to pick it up. That's not.
The
that just
plastic baggies are.
Nah, you still got to reach down, grab the turd, put it in the bag. That's just nasty.
Well, you put your hand in the bag.
You still. I don't care. There could be a hole in that bag.
The bag touches the poop.
We've heard stories of holes being in the bag.
We have heard some nasty
as they're
stories
running.
about that.
So what's that smell?
Oh, it's all. That's so gross.
That was a funny. So also up there on the list of reasons, they think it makes their dogs happy too. So it makes you happy to make him happy. It makes him happy, and then you say
it makes him happy.
Smiles.
Gives me exercise. So he actually smiles. He actually smiles.
You say he smiles, but
with a big grin on his face.
I don't really believe that he smiles, but you say he smiles. I know he enjoys the walk. Oh, we can't. Well, I almost said it. Well, he's not here. He enjoys the walk because we say walk.
Oh, he comes in and he wags his tail and he's ready. He'd probably bring you his leash if it wasn't a chain.
Yeah, he definitely knows. I want to do this one more story before we go to the break.
Just like he brings you his dish.
And maybe we'll come back to the one, but this sparked some controversy. This was on TikTok, and I don't have TikTok. I just sometimes they'll bring this up, and I saw it. And this was a toilet cleaning trick that they did. I want to get your reaction. And some people were threatening over it when they saw this. There was violence. People get really, when you talk about a toilet seat, a lot of people don't realize that actually toilet seat is very clean. It's a lot cleaner than you think it is. They say it's cleaner than most things in your bathroom. But so this TikTok racked up 3.5 million views. And here's what they did. Here's how they cleaned the toilet seat. The unidentified woman removed the toilet seat and she put it in the dishwasher, along with drinking cups, food bowls, and eating utensils. So I just wondered, where, first of all...
So people didn't want to eat in her kitchen anymore.
No. Well, that's like me with cats. If you got a cat walking on your countertop or your kitchen table, I'm not eating there. No offense to those, I love you, but I'm not eating there. I don't want to see a cat walking on, and they say all cats are clean. I don't care. I don't want to see it on your countertop. I don't want to see it. I just don't.
And some of them, a lot of
you
them
live how you want to live. I have no problem with that.
A lot of them you can train to not get on your counter, but we've had a few when we lived out in Claysville that we tried. They would not stay off the counter, so they were outside cats then because some of them just will not stay off.
One person said, "You invite me for dinner, and I see your toilet seat in the dishwasher. I'm turning around and never coming back." I don't know what would make you think that they make toilet sprays. I'm not just toilet. I'm talking about like the Clorox.
Cleaners. Yeah, they all kinds of cleaners.
It cleans just as well. The dishwasher. Well, if you're going to do it, I guess if you're going to do it, don't put other.
You put your soap dish.
Do your dishes first, right?
Put your soap dish and everything from your bathroom in it at one time, then run it through a rinse cycle after you're done, and then put your dishes in again.
I just don't understand.
But they put their
toilet seat in the dishwasher. I mean, I guess that's
big
one
old
way to
greasy pan.
get views. I guess that's, but
You know what I mean? If you put a big old greasy pan, then the next time you sit down, you might slide right in. Got a little kid that could fit right in there. You might grease it up and.
I don't know. I just that was just a strange. I wanted to get your reaction of
I thought it was
cleaning
funny.
a toilet seat. It's different, but I mean,
I don't think I would ever.
I wonder if people have done it, and you never know.
How
If she
would you
hadn't
know?
done it, you wouldn't. I mean, unless they tell you. Oh, hold on, I got it. You got to go to the bathroom. Hold on, I forgot. The
Cleaned
toilet
it.
seat's in the dishwasher.
I got to reattach it.
Yeah. All right. So when we come back.
Oh, when I just ate dinner at your house,
I
you
know.
might start heaving.
Afterward,
You might
after.
start heaving.
Yeah. Oh, God. Like, what was it? Kramer making salad in the shower.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be much different.
Yeah, that grossed me out too. If you're naked cutting up my salad, I don't want any of that in there.
No. When we come back,
Especially as much hair as I lose off my head in the shower.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want hair all through my salad.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the rudest cities in America. I'm sure you could probably guess some of them. We'll also talk about room service calls, grapes. I want to get on that and how that is essential for you getting healthy. We'll tell you what it does. And then finally, we'll finish things up with things that were done in 2002 that might not be acceptable now that we're in 2022. That's coming up next. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great-looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back to the second half of the show. I'm Ron.
I'm Terry.
And we really appreciate you joining us today. I want to try to hit on a couple things. Our first segment went really well. I thought we talked about a lot of things. These were kind of funny. These were room service calls. Apparently, some hotel employees shared the most bizarre room service calls they'd ever got. Like, for instance, a woman called the front desk and begged for sea salt scrub. And that was because she needed to remove her fake tan after it had gone all wrong. So I wonder how bad that fake tan was. She needed some sea salt scrub to get it off. But if you're at the beach, why would you need a fake? Well, maybe you don't tan as well. Some people just don't tan.
And some of that stuff really turns orange.
I know, the orange look. Yeah, but I mean, Some people want to, and there is something to be said for color. There is just a little bit of color, not those of you that are, can't tan. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just that the Italian skin does, although you're not really Italian, although I tell you,
I have a nice
now.
copper tone tan.
I tell you now that you are. You're Italian. Anyway, okay. Second room service call. Someone requested an extra bed for their doll.
For the doll?
For the doll. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't say what kind of doll. It just said doll. Another room service call. After checking in, someone called to have their reservation changed to a room with a sea view. But the problem was the hotel was 100 miles from the nearest ocean. So I'm not sure exactly why you wouldn't just find out where that hotel was and make sure it was near the ocean. That would make probably too much sense. And finally, a room service call. A guy requested a large ground floor room so a guest could leave his motorcycle there. That's a nice friend there. They cared about his friend's motorcycle. So those are some very bizarre room service calls. Have you ever had any?
They wouldn't allow you to bring the motorcycle.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't. I don't even know how you get through the door. Some of the doors are very narrow in a hotel.
I just I mean, what if you went through the mud with it and then you're going to bring it in the hotel?
Well, yeah, something about, I don't know. If you're willing to, hey, listen, if you're willing to pay for those things up front, then you can do whatever. They did a study on the rudest cities in America. Do you have any, like, if you had to just think, I mean, we've been very fortunate.
Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York.
New York is on there.
New York City.
Philadelphia. That's the brotherly love, but I hear, now these are, when it says rudest, these are the rudest cities in America according to the residents that actually live there.
Oh.
Philadelphia came in first.
Really?
Yeah, from their own residents. Memphis, Tennessee. I wouldn't have thought that. Came in second. New York came in third. The average rudeness score. I can see New York.
Oh, I could too, because, it's so big that you don't know your neighbors and everyone's your neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I live across the street, but each building has 3,000 apartments in it,
So the most common rude behaviors include people being absorbed by their phones. I don't know. That's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's people come to our house for dinner or for a picnic and they're on their phones. So
refusing to let people merge in traffic. That could be anywhere.
Pennsylvania's much worse than where,
Yeah. Being noisy in shared spaces. Memphis ranked the highest in 5 common rude behaviors, which is really surprising. I wouldn't think Memphis, I wouldn't have thought of that. Las Vegas is number 4. Boston's number 5. San Francisco is on here. Los Angeles is on here. You mentioned both of those. They're San Francisco's 7, Los Angeles is 9. So yeah, Philadelphia, PA is number 1, but Memphis is right on their heels as being rude. But I wouldn't have thought of that. But I don't live there either. But it's really not like PA doesn't have their share of
rudeness.
Yes. I mean, come on. It's so anyway, those are just some of the things that I thought was interesting. Oh, I need this one. Where'd that one paper go? This one right here. Okay. So, grapes. I know that a lot of people have been waiting to find out what grapes. Terry's been waiting with anticipation because she loves grapes. I think you like snacking on grapes. They say that snacking on grapes could actually prevent a heart attack or stroke. They did a research at UCLA, and there's a superfood is very rich in chemicals that boost gut bacteria diversity and lower cholesterol. That's why I need to start snacking on these grapes. Now they say apples. I've done an apple a day. but it doesn't say apple a day keeps the doctor away. It doesn't say cholesterol away.
Yeah.
So then I started taking these, what do you call those? It's not an actual medicine though. It's
a vitamin.
Vitamin. And now I'm up to 3 of these giant things that I can't swallow. I can't swallow a big pill. Although I've gotten a little bit better. I was only taking 1, 2, now I'm taking 3. Supposed to take 4. But don't tell anybody. So maybe I'll eat grapes, and I've been eating Cheerios. I missed my Cheerios last night.
Did you put your flaxseed in your Cheerios?
I did the other night, yes. Sometimes I don't.
Because the flaxseed will help your cholesterol too.
But they were saying that when people consume 40 grapes, and they were on a little bit of a low fiber diet, sort of, that the bad cholesterol levels lowered, and that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have to buy some grapes. So if you guys like grapes, then you might want to.
But when you're trying to lose weight, 5 is your serving size.
5 grapes? Well, it says 40 grapes. They were on 40 grapes. That's 2 servings. And you said yours is only 5?
5 grapes.
So according to this, it's 20 grapes. Because there was two servings.
Not if you're watching your sugars.
Well, I mean, yeah, but isn't that a natural sugar?
Yeah, it's a natural sugar, but it's still, if you have diabetes or any kind of if you have sugar problems, then you probably can't have no 40 grapes. No.
You can't have it. Mm-mm. Well, you're just killing me here. I'm trying to lower my cholesterol, and you're telling me I can't have grapes now.
Well, you don't have a sugar problem, so you should be okay.
I have a sugar problem. I like my cookies and my. That's
I know,
the problem.
But if you have the grapes instead, that probably would be better
help
for
that
you.
sugar?
Yes, it will help your sugar cravings.
That's what I need. I need to help my cravings.
I mean, while I was dieting, if I was really craving sugar, I'd have a couple slices of an apple or an orange, and that kind of would take it away.
Doesn't do it for me. I was
Apples
hoping the
don't
apple
have a lot of sugar in them, but like grapes probably would.
I was hoping that the apple
watermelon
would make me feel
seems
more.
to take it away, though.
Love watermelon.
But if you're craving sugar and you have some watermelon, I bet it takes it away.
It does. But I almost eat the whole half, so that's not good. There's probably a serving size there too.
It might make you go to the bathroom. Good.
I don't have any. Yeah, it might. I don't have any issues there.
If you eat a whole half a watermelon, you may be in the bathroom and you may lose some weight on that one.
Yeah, I love watermelon. That's that. Especially if you can find a good cantaloupe. I like cantaloupe too. Honeydew. We've had some honeydew. That's been pretty good too. All right, so grapes good for you. Now, next subject, and I almost missed this, and we talked about it earlier about outsourcing. So a blogger on mommyish.com wrote that her 9-year-old daughter finally learned how to ride a bike because they hired someone to teach her. And the mom wrote that she was terrified of teaching her daughter herself, and dad was also terrified. So they hired somebody. So my question would be, what parent activity would you love to outsource, but you feel it can only be done by you? Now, I will say this. Riding a bike to me teaching a child, that doesn't bother me. 16-year-old behind the wheel, that's the one where I'm like, can I do this without pushing my foot through the floor? And we've done it, all 3 of our boys.
Oh, I did some screaming.
When Zachary hit he had it in reverse.
And he
thought
hit
he
the
was
gas,
in drive.
And he had the gas instead of the brake. I thought we were going through the guardrail at the end of the road.
He didn't do it once. He did it twice.
I just went,
And then we were headed to church, so you can imagine what that was like. We had to really say a lot of Hail Marys and everything else after all the language was coming out of that car. Not to mention clean out our underwear. But now there's something you got to think, because it's expensive.
Well, especially
right?
if I still had teenagers at our age
Yes.
or in my 60s, because some people have a late in life child and they may be teaching a 15, 16-year-old when they're in their 60s. I think the older I would be, the more I might think to outsource it, because I just can't. I don't want to scare them so bad that they never get behind the wheel again either. And I just may not have the patience for it.
I think that's an important word, though, is you don't want to make it so that you want to, a friend of mine at work actually is going through this right now with his teenage, well, he's 18, he might be 19, I'm not sure, but he's older, and they're trying to get him to drive, and he said, he's told me some stories that, there's days he's really good and days, but it's not just him, it's also people around.
Right.
I mean,
they do dumb things.
They're in the right lane, and then he decide, I want to go off this exit, and they'll cross 2-3 lanes
without looking in
without
the
even
mirrors
just zoom, they're gone. But when you talk about outsourcing, I think it costs, I'm not sure, I should have looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it's $150 each time, or is it?
I don't know.
I know it can be, and I'll tell you something, I'm not sure that's enough money. To be honest.
Well, and you go in reverse and you're going towards the guardrails, and.
So if besides the driving thing, I mean, was there anything else that we would see? I just don't.
I mean, a lot of people take their kids for swimming lessons.
Swimming, that's true.
If you don't know how to give swimming instructions, which I did,
couldn't.
My kids were already swimming a little bit before they took swimming lessons.
Right.
I don't think Zachary ever took swimming lessons. Just what I taught him, and then when he got to middle school, he took swimming class. But and he hated it because he was too skinny to keep the brick in the middle of his chest when he did the backstroke.
I hated swimming in school,
and
we talked about that already.
They wanted him to balance it, and he couldn't, and they wouldn't pass him, and he was just very skinny child, and they wanted him to have the brick going the opposite direction, and he's like, if I could put it this long ways, I could do it just fine.
Right.
But if I put it the other way, when I put one shoulder back, it slides off because he was just too skinny.
Yeah, swimming. I mean, that's not really outsourcing because you're there with them.
Yeah,
because they're young. A lot of times you start swimming lessons relatively young, don't you? I would think so.
I mean, a lot of people do. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I'm bleeding into the other mic. It doesn't seem like it. Seems okay. But yeah, outsourcing as far as driving. See, now I would think about driving. That would be something that I would, especially now. We were young. We had our kids.
I guess we outsource all our sports because we take them to sports.
But that's coaches. Not real. No, that's not really. I mean, I coached. I coached Nathan in soccer, but I mean, I wouldn't call that outsourcing. I'm thinking swimming. I thought swimming might be, driving especially, but teaching a bike, it just doesn't seem like that would be that hard. But we did it.
But if your kid doesn't listen to you well or doesn't think you know what you're doing, some kids just
but that's not going to help you later on in life either.
To mom and dad as they will to someone else.
It's not going to help you later on if they're not listening to you now. You might as well just forget it. You're in deep doo-doo. All right, final subject as we round things out. And we covered most of the subject that I wanted to. This is 2002. These things were common back then. 20 years later, 2022, they might not be so normal. And here's some of the ones that I thought was interesting. Number one was going without your phone or any other kind of remote communication device. You're driving down a back road. This is back in 2002. I don't know. Did they have phones back then? I thought they did.
I can't remember when we got ours.
I don't remember. Anyway, can you
imagine? We
used to
have walkie-talkies at the beach.
And we talked about this before because you and I grew up in that age where we didn't have phones.
Yeah.
We had to get somewhere. We had to read a map.
Mm-hmm.
They actually used to teach that in school, to read a map. You don't need to do any of that, really, because the phone and the cars, have the
cars have the GPS. They say make the next right
still
turn.
Screw up.
Yeah.
They still take you on the wrong road. Nathan was talking, or was it Alexis? She went through a cow pasture.
Yeah.
And she drove right through the cow pasture.
And it did take her to the road she needed.
Yes. And she passed the farmer who was, because it was like kind of split, right? But she said, anyway, I need to get her on there and tell that story. That's a crazy story. But yeah, I mean, they don't read maps anymore. But without a phone, I will say, now that you're used to having a phone, I don't worry quite as much because I know that you have a phone on you.
If you get lost, you can pull over, put the address in there or the nearest location to there, and then you're at least in the vicinity when you get there.
That, I mean, again, you can call 911. You can call people that need, if you're broke down. So those are kind of things that I could see where, I'm going way back to our days in the 80s and 90s because we didn't have no phone. Mm-hmm. We went by map or we went, by directions from somebody on the side of the road. Judging people, this is back in 2002 now, judging people for moving in with their partner before marriage. Now that's kind of more commonplace. And a lot of people just do it for financial reasons. Was that you? Okay. So it is more normal now. Well, you're just, you're going to be all right over there? We didn't have beans today. Couldn't have been that.
No. Lots of vegetables. Raw
vegetables. Bring it out. And
cucumbers. I must be taking after my mother. Is that what it is? Cucumbers do it for
my
you. My mother must be taking after my mother in my old age.
I don't think the mic caught it, but I heard it. I could hear it. That was impressive. I got to give you one. No. I just hope it doesn't stink us out of the room. Faux hawks or mullets back in 2000, but I think they're coming back.
Oh, I've seen
some
kid
mohawks
left today with one. They had the long hair in the back and came.
Here's one hanging out in the mall for hours. Not a thing to do nowadays. No, they don't do that at all.
You used to go to the mall on Friday night, and that was your.
They dropped you. We would drop the kids off to a movie or the mall.
Your sister.
Well, at least it didn't do. Or our kids didn't do that as much. I don't think.
No, but your sister every Friday night hung out at the mall with all her friends.
Yeah, she liked the mall. No doubt.
And I don't think they even do it at the outlets. Drop them off, do they? And there's a food court in there and everything. And they could go get something at the food court, and I don't know. Yeah, there's
smoking everywhere. Smoking was big in the 2000s.
My brothers in the 70s in their high school.
Restaurants.
In their high school, they smoked right outside the doors of the school.
Well,
right on the property, right outside. They weren't allowed to smoke in the restroom, but they went right outside on the lawn and smoked.
If you're going out,
and when they didn't allow that anymore, that's when they started smoking in the restroom.
Right.
They were also allowed to leave for lunch in where we lived. They were allowed to go to McDonald's or something for lunch. If they drove, they didn't have to eat in the cafeteria. They had an hour. They could go get lunch and come back.
Yeah, you go outside now, you're not coming back in.
Yeah.
Actually, they locked a lot of the doors.
Not only that, some of them have metal detectors and everything you have to go back through.
Yeah, that's true. Showing up to a place you wanted to work. Now, this is big. You used to do this. You used to go, because your brother is a prime example of going to the same place because that's where you wanted to work and asking for a job or at least to apply.
Put his application in until they finally gave him a job just to get him to quit coming in.
Yeah, just to get him out of there. Today you can't. It's all online, or they won't even. Some place now, I think fast food still does it, but for the most part, they don't even give you a resume. Like if it's a company, it's done online.
Yeah, I wonder if Steph had to see anyone in person.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's. Right. I think everything's even done. Some of the interviews are done remotely.
Yeah.
My brother's been going through it, and he has to meet someone.
They
I got
do
to
Zoom meetings.
Find out how it went today. But Zoom, yeah, because there people are working from like Georgia.
They want to meet you, who they're going to be working with.
Yeah, it's
so you
really
do a Zoom meet.
It's a really weird world that we live in now. It's so different.
It is.
And finally, calling on the phone without texting first was socially acceptable. Now it's cold calling is weird or considered rude. I
don't think it's
I don't
rude.
like. I don't either. I don't like. See, I think people. This is just my opinion, but sometimes people can read a text kind of the wrong way
and think you mean something you didn't out of it.
Yes. Yeah, I think it can be twisted.
Nice. Well,
right.
I didn't mean it not nice. I just was stating a fact that you took it totally wrong.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like if you just the simplest of things could be, well, I can't make it, or I don't know. Because
some text messages, when you're misspelling and stuff, change your message. I remember when I called you a name and it changed it.
Yeah, you called me a name.
You said you
right.
didn't think I was racist, and I'm like, what? And I looked back at it, and it changed.
It did change the name.
It changed booger.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was calling
it's
you
not
a
even
booger.
close.
Don't be such a booger. And
I mean, why would it go from that to that? I don't know.
I don't know, but
Yeah, a booger. I'm the booger, says Terry. Well, we covered all the stuff, Terry. We did good today.
Well, that's good.
I think we covered a lot of stuff. I think we talked about a lot of interesting, at least I hope it's interesting to the people that are listening. We would try to make it interesting. Try to bring up conversation for you and your partner. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking to each other, but maybe you could say, hey, what would you do things differently if you were younger and you had kids?
You would
to
outsource
drive?
poopy diapers.
I would outsource grass cutting.
Poopy diapers.
I would call in the poopy diaper guy. Boom. Change the diaper, which I've done. You've been, and Lauren has done it too. I don't know. RJ, well, he was working.
I think, yeah.
And most of the time it's you.
I think.
I'm like, okay, this is you.
Every time I go, he poops 3 times.
Well, he's only done it once each time. So I've been very lucky with that, thankfully. But, so this has been a good, again, when we bring up these subjects, hopefully that creates maybe a spark for you and your partner to talk about things that we talk about today. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but we're trying. And it's dark in here. I should have turned the light on. I can barely see your beautiful eyes.
You had to shut the blinds because they were in my eyes.
Yeah, now I think the sun is out. I think the sun is gone now.
Yeah, they probably could be reopened now.
But we really want to thank you for tuning in today. Really, really, really appreciate it. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter, Just Talking Out Loud. We also want you to sign up, or at least subscribe, so you get the alert. Every Monday we bring out a new podcast, and we're hoping to continue that. And here in season 2, we started in February last year, and we took a break, and now we're back. And like Terry said, maybe we can get some more
people or new people.
Yeah. Get something different. Try something different. Huh? We got to try.
The old one's back plus new.
Yeah, old one's back plus new. I know Zachary said he had some ideas, so maybe get Sarah and Zach back on. That's fun to talk to them.
I think the kids bring more into it when we have more opinions.
I agree. Oh, you put a lot into it today. The last 2 times now.
I thought the one time you said I was too sleepy.
No, but you had to, take a quick exit, which is probably. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.